a lot.
Wasn't me.
Yeah.
It was have a
Chat.
yeah. apply for whatever gamble I want, right? So I apply for most of the videos that pretty much all over New South Wales, except for Newcastle, and Newcastle and Wollongong. Actually, I have applied for Wollongong. Yeah, it's a bit far. I'm in Drummoy, Sydney, so it's like near Five Dock, Cabarita, those areas. See, that's where I am. But like I apply for most areas, so yeah. And so when you apply, they get back to you, and then they give you a random selection of games, whatever you pick. So you don't know what you're going to get exactly. Yeah. So yeah. I mean, I've traveled, out west a lot. I've traveled, here a lot. I've traveled wherever. Like, I don't mind. Yeah. It's good. I like the travel, and I get paid for the travel as well. So it's nice to see different places as well. It does. Yeah, it does. Yeah. Exactly. And honestly, it'd be a bit boring just going to one location. So yeah.
Nothing boring about it, mate. Nothing boring about it.
Look, the coast, no. The coast, no. I love the coast. I've been here so many times. I just think it's more fun when you go to different locations.
Yeah.
As well.
No,
Yeah. Yeah.
So what do you do if there's an away travel with the team?
No, I just get sent wherever I get sent. So occasionally I'll do Sydney United.
Yeah.
Or I'll just have a week off.
We got preference. This is your preferred.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do all the games.
It's local, isn't it?
I'm the other one who's on the coast.
Oh, the guys wanted to do audio test.
Okay, yep. So, 2 seconds. I'm just trying to send.
was going to say, yeah. We would tell you that now.
1, 2, 3, 4. Testing audio live from Plume Park for round 22 as the Central Coast Mariners play host to Sutherland Sharks. All good?
Give me some lines about
Oh. The audio's actually coming through.
Come again?
Audio's actually going through on the screen. It's a live audio test and a test for the Mariners this afternoon as they look to make it 3 wins on the spin against a Sutherland Sharks side who will be buoyed by their 2-1 victory over Rockdale last weekend.
Was that all live? still on your laptop?
Yeah,
by the way?
I prefer hard drive.
Ah, okay, yeah.
Like, really make the screen.
I woke up this morning and I see all those tackles, stuff online.
Oh.
See his injury.
No.
Oh, it's great.
Did you say Salah?
Jamal,
Oh.
yeah.
No, please said Salah.
They had a game versus PSG.
Uh-huh.
Club World Cup.
Yep.
Took him out.
Yeah.
And, the way his legs bent,
Obviously snapped it.
about 8 to 14-month injury.
Oh.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So anytime they're playing on YouTube, that's something like that.
Oh, wow.
Sutherland injury. Yeah, so bad.
I don't know if I want to see it. Actually, no, I've seen some pretty bad injuries, so.
Oh, no.
Let's see.
No, I'm not having it. I hate ankle injuries. That is bad, bro.
Oh, she just realised. Yeah. My cousin's actually had an injury like that. In football as well. I've actually got the photo of his ankle, and it's 90 degrees basically.
I've had some bad ones over the years.
Yeah, it's terrible. Did he recover? Yeah, he did, but he had like 3 or 4 surgeries. Yeah, and still to this day, he feels pain. It was 10 years ago, over 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, hard.
It's much a mental thing as well when you go through that.
He's gonna have all metal in his foot, and
Yeah, there'll be screws and pins.
everywhere. Yeah. That's obviously his foot got caught underneath. And, yeah. 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 Yes, but stuff like that is, I wouldn't say it's like a fatigue thing. Yeah.
Sort of, it's not like a wear injury, it's just
Yeah.
contact.
That impact, you know.
It's been training. First Premier League game for them.
Exactly.
So it's all in the calendar.
Yeah. It's unfortunate.
It's too busy.
Yeah. 8 to 14 months. 8 would be lucky. I don't think so. Yeah. Jeez. I just wanted to start this game already. I've been here since 1:30.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because if I caught a train later, I would have been late. I'd have to get here an hour before. And yeah, it's from Sydney. So I left at like 11 a.m. No, I've got 2 games. So this and under 20s. Yeah, afterwards. But yeah. So it's been like 4 hours since I left, and I haven't seen a single minute of football yet. hopefully we'll be treated. Yeah, like a 4-3 or something. Last thing I'd want is a nil all. But, there's actually not too many of them that happens in the NPL, but when they do, yeah, it's a bit frustrating. Yeah. Yeah. Which game was it? At Spirit? Yeah. So it would have been cold. Ravens, yeah. No. Yeah, all that right, yeah. I just don't go to Newcastle. Wollongong, I'm going to fight for them live. Yeah, out west, yeah. Yeah, but I can't beat him quite a bit.
Yeah, I've seen you.
Yeah.
First of all, like, what's it?
Yeah,
That's a pretty cool job, actually.
yeah, it's nice to look on the side. Yeah, it's good to do it. It's awesome.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You like watching the game anyway.
Oh, yeah, I love it. Especially Mariners get up and back. But, yeah. So, no, it's always good.
I do work at Rebels, so I sell boots to all the so I'm kind of involved in that.
Yeah.
But I'm not officially involved in anything, just here as a supporter. But
Everyone here somehow we're related to like Pete's the ground.
Yeah.
Central Coast State. It was nice last time when I was here. There was Sutherland and Josh Rose.
Jacko's usually
Exactly. Yeah, it's awesome.
no official association.
Yeah.
Very big supporter.
Yeah, no.
As a result of that, I work in a sport shop and they have a boots, so I get that kick.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I think I'm going to be getting on a couple of times in the next few weeks after all the
Yeah, that was pretty good as well. But I used to watch some like Premier League stuff. They moved their game to 55 p.m. on Saturday, which is I finished work at 5 p.m. so race here and watch it at 3 p.m. So I think I've seen 2 games a year.
It's 3 p.m. Yes, that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
3 p.m. Saturday. So I've seen like maybe 1 or 2 games.
I don't know if I've actually done a United game. No, I've definitely not done a United second division United game here. I wonder if I've done it.
been pushed back an hour just to see how it works.
Did the floodlights come on?
Yeah, they'll turn on the lights at like 5, 6.
Yeah. You do all the different games as well, not just here?
Oh, there we go. Wow. That was crazy. That's another reason to turn on that one as well. Oh, you must have heard Nelson. He was telling us like, I need some light, like ideally like how it is there. Just turn it on. Okay. I thought they usually turn it on at like 5.
Yeah, because it's getting darker pretty early.
Yeah.
Yes, good afternoon and a very warm welcome indeed to the Central Coast. Leafy Lisarow setting the scene for this delayed kickoff here in round 22 as the Central Coast Mariners Academy play host to Sutherland Sharks. Pete Pryor with you this afternoon to take you through all the action as it unfolds. An absolute pleasure to have your company, as it always is, wherever it is in the world you may be watching from. The Mariners coming into this one off the back of successive victories, 3-1 against Sydney United and last week 2-0 over Mount Druitt. Can they maintain their late season resurgence against an opponent who currently sits 6 points ahead of them on the table in Sutherland, who themselves come into this one off the back of a very handy win over Rockdale last week by 2-1. The team news is in, so let's take you through how each side starts here ahead of kickoff at Pluim Park. The Mariners forced into 2 changes this weekend. The suspension of Lawrence Taylor after his 5th yellow card of the season last week. And Ben Mewett also picked up a red card. We can bring you some further news on Ben Mewett as this one progresses. The side starts as follows, of course. Number 40 in goal, Joel Wade. The 3 and captain Michael Paragali. 9, Ahmed El Helou. 10, Aok Mo. 11, Jai Rose. 12, on starting debut, Ty McKibben, who comes in for Lawrence Taylor. 21, Muginga Mpota. 22, Shumba Mutakui. 24, Kai Schumacher. 35, Max Miller. And 38, coming in for Ben Mewett on the left side of that defence this afternoon. Also on starting debut for the first grade setup, Harrison Jablonski. Lucas Valela's bench includes this afternoon Jordan Small, Logan Sandbrook, Angus Reid, Jesse Mantell, Flynn Richards, and reserve goalkeeper Jai Ajanovic. For the travelling party this afternoon in Sutherland, just the one change this week. Mark Morich is out after his accumulation of yellow cards as well. Tarek Meyer comes in for him, one of many new signings. The Sharks have been certainly busy in the mid-season window. Their full lineup as follows. In goal, of course, Daniel Nizic. The 2, Lachlan McDonald. 4, Lachlan Fields. 6, Mohammed Ahmed. 10, Maki Petratos. 11, another new face in Sutherland in Yanni Nicolau. 14, another one, Leo Mazis. 19, as we said, Tarek Meyer. 22, Kotaro Katsuta. 23, Mason Fernandez. And the starting 11 rounded out by 44, Ty McGowan. Michael Weiner just synchronising his watches with his fellow officials. The whistle blows and away we go. Sutherland getting us underway here finally to conclude round 22. Sutherland, of course, kicking from right to left on your screens. Juggling on the edge of the area there is Petratos. Cross will be fizzed in. Wade will rise to claim. Sutherland's bench, of course, comprised this afternoon of Jordan Roberts, Jaden Gasking, Nicholas Sullivan, Marcus Fernandez, Matthew Jackson, and reserve goalkeeper Sebastian Arantz. Jai Rose looking to pinch the pocket of McDonald there. Those two both on the score sheet last week. Jai Rose in some absolutely scintillating form for the Central Coast Mariners of late. A goal and an assist last week, as well as a goal and an assist against Sydney United the week prior. Lachlan McDonald himself on the score sheet against Rockdale last week, opening the scoring with a sublime chip, which nestled so sweetly into the far corner. Schumacher will rise to nod the throw clear, only as far as Nicolau. Mo chesting it down to find a teammate there. Porter. Header only finding Lachlan McDonald, who will send it forward immediately. Jablonski first on scene to just prod it into touch. As we said, Harrison Jablonski in at left back for the Mariners this afternoon. Ben Mewett was sent off last week against Mount Druitt and has also since departed the club for pastures new. Motakoi rising to nod that one forwards, clear of danger. Flat sort of delivery, takes a touch on the way through and straight into the arms of the awaiting Joel Wade. We spoke about the Mariners' run of recent form. They've picked up points in 3 of their last 4 matches. So they continue their bid for survival in the state's top flight, and a win today would take them out of the bottom 2 places. Of course, bottom goes down automatically into the League One system. Second bottom faces the promotion relegation playoff, as the Mariners would be well versed with. They took part in that Pro-Rel playoff last season. McKibben linking up with Mo. Sizing up the cross, it's just ahead of Mpota. Just ran away from him there, and Mason Fernandez on the far touchline. Poking it into touch himself. Mariners throw. It's a bit of an awkward sort of throw in there. It's halfway between McKibben and Motakoi. McKibben will retrieve, and then Motakoi will link up again with McKibben. Jablonski bursting through and drawing the contact as well. Free kick awarded. Big raps on young Harry Jablonski, of course, has been part of several national team age group setups. Regular feature in the Mariners under 20 setup, and makes his first start for first grade today. Dry Rose, it will be to swing this one in. Similar sort of area to where he assisted Ahmed El Helou's opener. This one repelled before it reached Mo. Harrison Jablonski will send it forward with interest. Daniel Nezic, first touch of the afternoon for the Sharks gloveman. Nicolau, as we said, one of many new arrivals in the mid-season window before it slammed shut. In from MacArthur, vastly experienced in both the A-League and NPL New South Wales setup. Leo Mazis has his pocket pinched by McKibben. That's great footwork from McKibben as well. Driving into the area, Ty McKibben, little layoff as well for El Helou, who draws a very good save out of Nizic. Danger not quite done. Well, it is now. Katsuta will clip it forwards. That was sparkling from Ty McKibben, but they'll have to get back and defend quickly now, the Mariners. Jablonski doing just that. Hoisted in towards the head of Petratos and repels. And now Ayuk Mo looking to go through the gears here. Nicolau watched him all the way. Max Miller's going to overlap and receive on this near touch line. McKibben. What an introduction that would have been for young Ty McKibben just a moment ago. Here's Max Miller. Looking to isolate his defender, and then cross comes in, left-footed delivery towards El Helou, twisting, turning. Couldn't quite free his feet enough to get the strike away on that occasion. Mariners still on the charge forward, swung in. Nizic will rise to claim and does so comfortably. Well, certainly a bright start here at Plume Park for round 22. As we said, this one delayed. Kickoff was originally scheduled for 3 o'clock. Pushed back to 4 o'clock following some traffic chaos on the F3 or the M1 or whatever it's called today. Allowing the travelling Sutherland time to reach the venue. Also caused a delay in the NPL women's I believe, with the emerging Jets hosting MacArthur up at Lake Macquarie Regional Sporting Facility this afternoon. Katsuta. Sharks just want to try and string a few passes together here after what was a fairly frantic opening 5 or 6 minutes of the first stanza. It's Fields. Katsuta. Again, they just go all the way across the back line. Mohamed Ahmed it was sending the ball forward and straight into touch, and you can hear the cheers emanating from the Mariners bench. Their spirits buoyed, morale high. Paragali. Max Miller was screaming for it on this near touchline. Paragali goes inside instead for McKibben. Now Ayuk Mo, and now Max Miller will receive it, hugging the touchline and just being forced to go back and reload through Paragali. Paragali will drive it forward. It's going a long way ahead of Miller and not quite going to stay in play for the Mariners. Max Miller, another one of those who made his starting debut last week for the Mariners in the first grade setup, coming in for Luca Pecora, who was another one of those who joined the departure lounge, moving on to Sydney Olympic. Here's Ayuk Mo. Motokoyi being harassed by Mazis there all the way back to Joel Wade. We'll send it back up over halfway. Rising ahead of Nicolau was Mo. Flag was up though, coming back from an offside position there. Ayuk Mo. Another interesting little tidbit of transfer news we saw last night, of course. Lucas Shikluna, who departed the club a couple of weeks ago, lining up for the Newcastle Jets Academy in their League One encounter. Michael Weiner just taking a second to assess the scene before awarding the free kick in favour of Sutherland. Daniel Nizic, you may hear over the broadcast there, urging his teammates to really attack the ball, get into the area and try and create some chaos. Swung towards the back post, rising is Nicolau, but not before Motokoyi gets there. At the expense of a corner though. First corner of the afternoon here at Pluim Park. Just over 10 minutes gone, about to tick over to 11 minutes, I should say. Tariq Meyer across to take. Michael Weiner has spotted the ball outside the quadrant there and imploring Tariq Meyer to ensure the ball is set just so. And he will eventually swing this one in towards the back post. A big shout of keeper from Wade, and the strike will come from Nicolau. And the second strike really fizzed in from Fernandez there. Into the side netting. First real shot in anger for the away side so far this afternoon. That's a long way ahead of Paragali there, and a cheap turnover, allowing Mazis to burst into the area. Repelled initially. The strike will come at the end of it from McGowan. Blocked off. And now the Mariners with a chance to transition rapidly here through Jai Rose. Striding over halfway. Now Mo. Slipped through for El Helu, but just overcooking the pass there somewhat. Ayuk Mo. Ahmed El Helu, another one who's been in scintillating form of late. A goal last week against Mount Druitt. 2 goals against Sydney United. And a goal against Manly as well the week prior. A couple of very good goals in the under-20 setup as well before that against Blacktown. Absolutely flying at the moment. Schumacher rising. Now McKibben able to just get a toe in there and link up with Paragali, who will stride forward over halfway from the heart of defence. Jablonski there first. Well, not before the ball ran out of play, though. Throw in on that far touchline for Sutherland. Want to get forward quickly as well here. Fernandez one-on-one with Motokoyi. Pops out kindly for Petratos. Was immediately surrounded by a couple of Mariners there. In the form of Motokoyi and Schumacher. Crossing lanes all closed down. Will be the long, flat throw again. It will be Schumacher to rise and not it clear as far as the edge of the 18. Ayuk Mo going down under the contact of his opposite number 10 there in Maki Petratos. We'll take the opportunity to bring you some news from elsewhere as well. 2 other games currently underway. The NPL New South Wales men's competition at Landon Stadium. Blacktown hosting Rockdale. Rockdale currently lead that one by a goal to nil, courtesy of, well, who else? The Baker, Alec Urushevsky, scoring right on the stroke of half-time. At the Palace, Marconi lead Sydney United. Their captain, Marko Jesic, scoring the sole goal in that one so far. About 53 minutes gone there. Schumacher, good strength in the challenge. Ball forward was a long way ahead of Mo, though. Miller nodding it forward from whence it came. Mo helps it on. Final touch there off the foot of Yanni Nicolau. Giving possession back to the Mariners. Miller will get us back underway. Schumacher and then Paragali. Just stops and assesses the scene in front of him before linking up with Miller. Now El Helu sweeping it centrally, but just a little ways ahead of Jai Rose. McGowan looking for the central delivery towards Petratos. Repelled again by Paragali. Helped on by Rose. Has to stretch to try and win it back, but it's McGowan who emerges with it and then, in due course, has his legs taken away from underneath him as well. This is pretty much the exact position where the Mariners opened the scoring. Against Mount Druitt, of course, the flighted free kick in from Jai Rose, finding the head of Ahmed El Helu. This time it's their turn to try and defend it. McGowan eventually back to his feet, and just about everyone forward for Sutherland as it's floated in and then nodded over the crossbar in turn. Mohammed Ahmed it was. Who's been just about ever present for Sutherland this season, the 24-year-old. Just the one game missed through suspension, accumulation of yellow cards. Perhaps not the most likely of targets, hasn't scored since June 2024. Wade will launch it long again. Stepping forward there was Fields. And Pota winning out, and now Greengrass ahead of Maginga and Pota, bursting into the area. And it's a good-looking challenge in spite of the protests from the Mariners faithful, who are still making their feelings plainly known to referee Michael Weiner. Lucas Villela still asking the question. Looked like there was a good chunk of ball in the challenge. Getting a look at the replay. Well, you've seen them given. Would, in all fairness, be probably harsh on Sutherland. And on we go. Motakoi again getting there ahead of Meyer, who then slides in and rather scythes down Shumba Motakoi. Wade again, launching it long towards Mpota, who will rise and knot it down to Dry Rose. A difficult one to control for Rose. Muzis now, one-on-one with Miller. Slide rule ball into the channel there for Nicolau. Ball is a little way ahead of Muzis. Nicolau gets the strike away, straight into the body of McKibben, who's able to twist and hold it up and finds Paragali as the Mariners look to play their way out from the back and just playing their way into trouble. Straight into the legs of Meyer. Max Miller's done ever so well to regain body position and win it back. So much experience, of course, for Yanni Nicolau, as we said, across both the NPL and A-League setups. As Muzis, another one with oodles of experience. Healthy return already for Leo Mazis, of course. First start for Sutherland last week, capped off with a goal. Canberra-born mid-season signing coming up from the NPL Victoria system with Melbourne Knights. Excellent addition to the Sutherland midfield, who themselves will be desperate for 3 points today to try and avoid being really drawn into the relegation dogfight. They're not far away from it, as we said. Of course, the Mariners just 6 points behind them at the start of today's play. Wade driving it forwards, and it's cut out by Nicolau initially, but Mo winning it straight back off the toe of Nicolau, and now Miller with a bit of space to work the cross. Near post delivery, turn behind by Lachlan Fields. You can see a bit more urgency from the Mariners than perhaps they displayed in some of their early season encounters, particularly in the final third. It's perhaps buoyed and spurred on by the confidence that comes from the results that they've had over the last couple of weeks. Towards the edge of the area for McKibben, who has his legs taken away. Referee says legally so, and then long-range speculator really from Schumacher. The flag is up for offside in any case. Well, one from the training ground, perhaps, from the set piece for the hosts. Ty McKibben in the opening exchanges here as we tick over halfway through the first half. Has acquitted himself very well indeed on, as we said, his first grade starting debut. Watakoi rising, Schumacher winning it, and now Rose. Ayuk Mo is herring forward on this near touchline. McKibben, and now Miller. El Helu. McKibben now immediately surrounded by a couple of Sharks. Paragali nearly ran away from him, allowing Tariq Meyer to steal in, but able to reel it back in. Then Jablonski for Mpota. Hoisted back in by Jablonski. Gyros just lets it bounce before Mohamed Ahmed sends it back from whence it came into touch. High into the afternoon sky as the sun sets here at Pluim Park. Again hoisted in by Jablonski and again repelled that time by Fernandez. The Mariners will get a chance to just reload on halfway through Paragali. Eventually strides past Petratos and now Mo. Again just trying to isolate his defender and tie him up into knots, but he's tied himself up really there, Ayuk Mo. Mazis. And then Meyer sliding one wide. Driven into the area, but it's a long way ahead of Petratos. Miller will retrieve it and send it clear. It's just a little too far ahead of Ayuk Mo, and Mazis will get a chance to send it back in, which he does, but there is no Sutherland players within a QE of that, really. Again, Daniel Nizic barking instructions from the back, wanting his players to be a bit more sure of their passes, a bit more crispness, a bit more sharpness. It's an area where they have struggled in the final third somewhat this season. Of course, Sutherland only scored 19 goals this season. Only the Wanderers and Mount Druitt currently below them in that standing. In fact, they went through a 7-game run without scoring, without finding the back of the net from round 5, or round 9, I should say, all the way through to round 15 inclusive. As we said, of course, they were quite active in the mid-season transfer window. 6 new signings, one of those currently just pending the international transfer certificates, and Brendan Gann. New faces like Tariq Meyer and Leo Mazis particularly, hoping to change their fortunes in front of goal somewhat, but it's the Mariners now advancing over halfway, only momentarily. Jai Rose having his pocket pinched. Ty McKibben cuts out the initial pass forward, but the Sharks able to retain possession. And across the back it goes once more, Katsuta. All the way back to Nizic. Bouncing up awfully awkwardly in front of Motokoyi, but he's done well to control it. Couldn't quite stick the pass, though, to Mpota. Fields sliding in before Mpota taking away the legs of McGowan. Nizic hoisting it forward. Jablonski there first. Forced to just nod it over the touchline, though. The Sharks just going backwards. Happy to invite the Mariners forwards and try and play through the lines. That's Meyer. Katsuta. Again, inviting the press of the Mariners here. Fields going all the way back to Nizic, who's had just about enough of that and sends it all the way back up over halfway. Rose now. Jablonski is going to be forced backwards and is left it short of Motokoyi, and the Sharks with a golden opportunity. A very good save, in fact, it looks like, from Joel Wade, as the Sharks have won themselves a corner. Rattling the crossbar. And that's just about as close as either side has come here. Maki Petratos it was who just stole a march on Motokoyi. Struck with real venom and velocity. They'll have a corner for their endeavours as well now, Sutherland. Swung in towards the near post. Repelled by El Helu. Bit of a tussle on the edge of the area. It's all a bit frenetic and chaotic. Maki Petratos able to dig it out before it's swung back in towards him by Fernandez and hooked clear. The Mariners survive. Rose. Oh, that's great feat from Jai Rose to take him away from McDonald, and now looking to release Mpota, who again strides towards the byline and pulls it back. Deflected away just before it reached El Helu on the edge of the 6-yard box. Well, this game just opening up somewhat here at Pluim Park. Just about half an hour or so gone. If you are just joining us on the Football New South Wales YouTube page, absolute pleasure to have your company, as it always is. Here in round 22, Pete Pryor with you. Still deadlocked here. Two sides, of course, have been so evenly matched over the years. Sutherland got the chocolates, so to speak, in their initial encounter for 2025 down at Seymour Shore, running out by a goal to nil, or victorious by a goal to nil, I should say. Former Mariner himself, Jacob Trezel-Glavich, scoring the winner. Here's Jablonski for the Mariners. Cross really fizzed in and takes a heavy touch on the way through and on the way behind for a corner. I'm not too sure how much the defender really knew about it. absolute classic last time these two sides met here at Pluham Park, though. The Mariners running out by 3-2. Nenad Vekic, who was in goal for Sutherland that day, also seeing red. Oh, that's a spectacular attempt, really, from Mo, and then, well, perhaps a less spectacular attempt at the end of it. Sent high wide and not so handsome. That one not really looking likely. Body shape just a little bit skew-if, so to speak. Schumacher it was. He doesn't mind an effort from range, Kai Schumacher. He came close the other week as well. Drew a couple of very good saves out of the Sydney United goalkeeper on the afternoon. Here's Nicolau. Handy pocket of space there for Meyer, but he's immediately pressed by McKibben. He's able to free his feet enough to stroke it across to McDonald's. McGowan just trying to prod it forwards towards Nicolau, who stayed inverted, stayed forwards. Mariners all just diving in, and they might just go ahead here, the Sharks. Well, no. Denied once again by some desperate last-ditch defending. A combination of Wade and Paragali sees the Mariners survive yet another raid. They just need to maintain their composure. There were too many challenges just needlessly flying in and diving in, allowing Sutherland this space to affect the chance. It was a very good save required from Joel Wade, who's been outstanding, particularly over the last couple of weeks, it must be said. Goalkeepers perhaps sometimes rarely receiving the plaudits they deserve. Here's Max Miller now. Racing across there was Fields to effect the challenge. The Mariners will have a corner. Just back on Joel Wade, of course, his first clean sheet of the season last week in that 2-0 victory over Mount Druitt. And some absolutely crucial stops in that one as well. Not to mention his performance against Sydney United in the week earlier. But it's up the other end of the pitch now where the Mariners are looking to make the difference. Jablonski and Rose in close consultation over this delivery. Meanwhile, bit of chaos in the box. Michael Weiner has some sorting out to do. It will be Jablonski. Again towards the edge of the area. It's a long way ahead of McKibben. And then Mazis able to win it and send it forward, and McKibben's got some defending to do. It looked like he did take away the legs of Petrados there, who's asking the question of referee Michael Weiner, who says nothing doing. He's in a good position to see it, the referee, of course, and if his interpretation is correct, and I'm sure it is, it's a very good challenge, very good recovering challenge from Ty McKibben. Jablonski rising and winning the free kick as well. Lucas Villela is prowling his technical area on the home bench, coaching his young charges through this one. He wants to see more than what they've perhaps offered in the last 10 or so minutes. Knows they're capable of so much more as well. The last 2 weeks, if nothing else, have absolutely demonstrated that. It's McKibben. Has it taken off his toe by Fernandez, but the Mariners able to work it forward towards Mpota. It burns around the outside of 1 and 2. Still going here, and Pota pulled back into the area. And another corner for the hosts. Well, that looks like perhaps likely a workable outlet for the Central Coast Mariners. Maginga and Pota has got around the outside of his defender on several occasions in this one. The Sharks just surviving courtesy of some last-ditch defending of their own. Another corner, though. Gyros it will be this time. Near post delivery is repelled. Only as far as Jablonski, who will hook it back over his shoulder in the direction of Rose, but Fernandez will emerge with it. Schumacher tracking back to great effect. Jablonski. Now, Mo. Thought about the shot. Instead, tries to sort his feet out, and that allowed Katsuta enough time to pick the pocket of Mo. The Sharks playing their way into trouble. The Mariners perhaps smelling blood in the water. El Helu couldn't quite profit, though. The Sharks looking to counter punch immediately. Petratos. Still Petratos. Flashing over the crossbar. In the end there from Maki Petratos. Always rising. End-to-end stuff at times here at Pluim Park. Common Maki will get the next one as the cry from the Sutherland bench. 6 goals so far for the season for Maki Petratos, who himself did spend some time here at Pluim Park with the Mariners Academy. All the way back in 2017 before moving up the road with the Newcastle Jets. Paragali looking to get it forward quickly. It was cut out rather comfortably before it reached Mpota. Ahmed it was. Rising to cut out the ball forward. The Sharks will have it back on halfway with Katsuta. Fields. Near touchline now is Nicolau. Looking to invert. Ayuk Mo affording no avenue forwards. Sideways they go again with McGowan. Now forward it goes for Fernandez. McDonald. Fernandez again. Katsuta. Good ball speed this from Sutherland, but no real sort of penetrative threat. Trying to be patient in possession. I'll tell you what, Leo Mazis is absolutely hollering for it on this near touchline. Before those passing lanes are blocked off. Now, McGowan. Fizzed in at the feet of McDonald, and McDonald was hugging that far touchline and perhaps hugging it a little too closely. All the way into touch it goes. That little spell of possession for Sutherland comes to an end. Not with a bang, but with a whimper, really. Schumacher, he's just misjudged the clearance. Perhaps the Mariners able to hack it clear eventually. Nicolau will get there first ahead of Mo, and Mo will get a touch on the ball, but not to any real sort of great effect. Now, Max Miller's got some defending to do against Marzis, and that is outstanding work from the Mariners' right fullback, Max Miller. That should be a Mariners throw-in, and certainly is. In spite of the protest from Nicolau, it seemed fairly cut and dried. Max Miller to resume hostilities. Hoisted in towards El Helu, who's able to nod it down towards McKibben. Just ran away from him a little bit there. Maya towards Petratos, stepping in with Paragali. It's going to come straight back at them, though, and Petratos will get there first ahead of Paragali. Paragali defending well. At the expense of a corner, though. Sutherland thought about the quick corner routine, perhaps. Thinking twice about it, though. Again, just about everyone back behind the ball defending this one for the Mariners as it swung in high and looping right into the awaiting arms of Joel Wade. But a crowded, massive bodies around him. And rolls it out to the feet of Motokoyi. He's directing traffic around him. Jablonski running out of room, running out of real estate on that far touch line again. Here's Fields. Skips around and Poulter with relative ease. And then has his legs taken away. A sliding challenge there from Schumacher halting his advance. No advantage accruing. Michael Weiner just ensuring the free kick is taken from the correct location. Tarek Meyer. Again, they go across the back with Ahmed. Fernandez. McDonald, who was underlapping that time. It's a long way ahead of him and gave Motokoyi the opportunity to reach it first, which he did. But then forced to just put it over that far touchline, just prod it out really. And this gives the Sharks the opportunity. They do have that weapon in their arsenal of the long throw here, which they don't use. Petratos has the wall pass and he'll have it back. Now McDonald's twisting and turning, able to cross eventually. Wade with a good fist to it initially. Katsuta it was who was trying to pick up the rebounds. Ty McKibben driving it into the body of the onrushing Kitaro Katsuta, and behind it goes. Just a goal kick at the end of it. Again, it was a very good fist required there from Joel Wade. The cross in took an awful wicked deflection, which really looped it away from the goalkeeper. Who will get us back underway, sending it long over halfway. Miller nodding it forward. McKibben. Now Mo. Still going here, Mo. Well, final touch off Nicolau. Into touch. And Miller will get us back underway. McKibben now. Still going here, Ty McKibben. Little ball into the path of Jai Rose. Straight into the hands of Daniel Nizic. We're through the regulation 45 here at Plume Park. Just the 1 minute of time added on. Katsuta just helps it on. Perhaps one last attacking raid here for the Sharks. Well, not like that. Jablonski just gives it away somewhat needlessly there. That's an easy cutout for Mohamed Adam. Before the ball is fizzed forward towards the feet of Fernandez. Try saying that 10 times quickly. Fizzed forward towards the feet of Fernandez. I'll stop after one. The Mariners perhaps just happy to soak up the final remaining seconds here at Pluim. Have the first stanza, which they do, as Michael Weiner signals that'll do for the first stanza here in round 22 at Pluim Park. Still goalless at the interval. Chances somewhat at a premium here between the Central Coast Mariners and Sutherland Sharks. Still 45 minutes of action to come. So don't go anywhere. Make sure that you join us for the second half in about 15 or so minutes' time.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, hopefully there'll be a goal. We did get a post hit, crossbar hit though. Yeah.
A very warm welcome indeed back to the Central Coast here at Pluim Park as we conclude round 22 of the New South Wales NPL men's competition. Still deadlocked, goalless at the break. Chances at a fair old premium between the Mariners and Sutherland so far in this afternoon's contest. It certainly feels like something is slowly simmering away beneath the surface of this one. 45 minutes of action to come. The Mariners resume hostilities here at Pluim. This half, of course, kicking from right to left on your screens. Doesn't look like any changes at half-time for either side. We'll try and bring you confirmation on that one as soon as we can, as Katsuta trying to link up with Petratos. He just lost his footing at the crucial moments. Now Motokoyi left a little way ahead of Jai Rose. And how's the footwork there from Fields to take him away from the initial contest? Rose will step in and win it back and then have his legs sort of hacked away from him over on that far touchline. As the sun has set behind us here at Pluim Park. Temperature dropping. Many a jacket being thrown on in the stands here. And Potter rising. Couldn't quite link up with a teammate though. McDonald. Back with Nicholas Sullivan. So, yes, there has been a change at half-time indeed. Nicholas Sullivan coming on at the interval for Sutherland. Here he is, sporting the number 8 jersey. Jablonski, good bit of skill to dink it over the top of the challenge and link up with Rose. Now McKibben retaining possession through Jablonski. No options available in front, so just going back with his captain and Michael Paragalli. Scanning, assessing the options. Jablonski's continued his foray forwards. A little flick around the corner from El Helu. Into touch it goes. Off Lachlan McDonald. McKibben. Jablonski, those two on starting debut for the Mariners this afternoon. Rose now just recycling through Miller. Paragalli, it's a heavy first touch. He's able to retain it and dink it forward towards Mpota, who has Nicolau bundle him over. The Mariners with the first set piece of the second stanza. We'll look to take the opportunity, I should say, to take you through results from elsewhere in the league. At the Palace, Marconi running out victorious by 2-0. That one just wrapping up now. As Jablonski swings this in. It's a good fist to it from Daniel Nizic. Rose will drop in and retrieve. Now, Shumba Motokoyi clipped into the area towards Jablonski, and behind it goes for another Mariners corner. On that result at Marconi, as we said, Marko Jesic opened the scoring. True adding a second in the 90th minute. And at Landon Stadium, between Blacktown and Rockdale, Uroshevsky opening the scoring for Rockdale, pegged back just after half-time by Mitchell Malia. Uroshevsky adding a second, and Rockdale have just added a third as well, so currently leading by 3-1 in the 90th minute as this is swung in again right on top of Nizic, and bodies hitting the deck. Free kick awarded. McDonald's. Now Sullivan. Again, across the back it goes. Fields. And then Nicolau. Katsuta. Aokumo thought he'd won the throw for his side. Flag going the other way. Sullivan. Again, pressed by El Helu and forced back to Nizic. Out, Nicolau. Again, harassed and harried all the way by Mo. Able to string their passes together here, though, Sutherland. But still hemmed into their own half. Is McDonald. And again, back to Sullivan. Plenty of side-to-side stuff here from the Sharks. Again, happy to just really invite the Mariners forwards and try and play their way through. Now it's Meyer who looks to clip one out to the far touchline. Miller slipped initially, but regathers his footing and cuts out the pass. Motokoye. Schumacher. Katsuta gets there first, but sends it straight into the Mariners' 18-yard box and straight to the feet of Joel Wade. It's a loose pass out from Wade again there. Nearly allowing Ty McGowan to steal in. Again, Sutherland happy to go back and use their centre-half pairing as the outlet. It's Sullivan. Slid into the area. Drawing a good save at the end of it out of Joel Wade as well. Tarek Meyer it was who slid in and prodded it goalwards. The first real effort of the second stanza. Here's Sullivan. Ahmed dropping in. And then Fields. And again across the back it goes with Nicolau. Plays it, threads the needle between a couple of Mariners players there to find Katsuta initially. Meyer driving one forwards. McDonald's gone on a foray forwards. Joel Wade alert to it. Was waiting the delivery on the edge of his area. Jai Rose has been cynically dumped to the deck in front of us here. Michael Weiner happy to play advantage. Now Paragali has beaten a couple as he advances over halfway as well. Little scoop over the top to link up with Mpota. Holds it up and awaits the supporting cast. One of whom arriving on the edge of the area, Rose. And then bursting into the area, looked like Schumacher, had his legs taken away. Michael Weiner happy to let play continue. And Sutherland looking to get it forward with a bit more urgency this time. Katsuta, perhaps too much urgency. Well, elsewhere across the league as well, of course, last night, 4 games in the state's top flight. The Wanderers succumbing to a 1-0 defeat at the hands of Apia. Spirit FC running out victorious at home to Manly by 2-1. Wollongong also victorious by 2-1 over St George FC. Before St George City and Mount Druitt playing out a 1-1 draw. Mount Druitt stealing a share of the spoils right at the death in that one. Every point for them, oh so crucial as well. They're currently at the foot of the ladder, equal on points with the Mariners. If this result stands, the Mariners will maintain that point of separation. But they'll want to go better than that, of course. Victory tonight for the Mariners, particularly after the Wanderers' defeat, would see them out of the bottom two places. Little step over there from Sullivan as he looks to get around the outside of El Helu. And then, again, scooped forwards. Wade awaiting. And then just gets himself between the ball and Tarek Meyer. Playing short this time, Motokoyi. Motokoyi again. Into the channel it goes in the direction of El Helu, who just goes through the back of Nicholas Sullivan there. Made sure the referee was aware of the contact as well, did Nicholas Sullivan. Returning to the club, of course, Nick Sullivan, back from Apia Leichhardt. Had some time in the A-League sets up as well with both the Wanderers and Perth Glory. McDonald, well, his attempted quick throw-in is going to be halted because Sutherland wants to make a substitution. Maki Petratos it will be to take his leave. Jaden Gasking on in his stead, so no goal on his return to Pluham Park for Maki Petratos. It's hoisted forward towards Gasking immediately. Wade's had to come a long way to claim it and does. Sutherland perhaps searching for a bit of a different dynamic or a bit more energy up top. McDonald does well to bring it out of the sky. Fernandez now. Inside it goes. Now back outside with McDonald. Again, Sutherland just pushing and probing and trying to search for an opening. Ahmed. And Sullivan now. All the way back to Nizic. Sullivan again, assessing the ball forward. This time it does go into the half space towards the latest introduction in Gasking. It's taken off his toe by Motokoyi. Now Paragali for the Mariners. Schumacher. Forced all the way back to Joel Wade, who will launch it back upfield. It's going to come straight back at them. Adam, and then Gasking has his legs taken away. Tarek Meyer is just asking the question as to whether the infraction deserves a little bit more than just a free kick. Michael Weiner happy to just issue a quick talking to. Meyer scooping it into the area. The flag was up on this near touch line. Runners just going a fraction of a second early, and the Mariners now will look to go to the bench themselves. Mulginga and Potter will be to take his leave for the evening. On comes Jesse Mantell. Still have options on the bench, of course, the Mariners, the form of Logan Sandbrook and Flynn Richards. Excellent attacking outlets, the pair of them. They also have Jordan Small and Angus Reid, two really sort of archetypal number sixes. After the promise and bluster that was shown in parts during the first stanza, last sort of 10 minutes or so here at Pluim Park have felt a little bit flat. It just needs something to really spark it into life, this one. Cut out comfortably by Mo. Meyer dropping in and taking away the legs of Jai Rose, in spite of his protest of innocence. As we said, Tarek Meyer, one of many new arrivals in the mid-season window, in from Sydney United 58 after a number of years and over 150 appearances for Sydney United. Making the move to Sutherland in search of a bit more game time. Well, that's an excellent looking ball into the wide area for Max Miller, who will now look to invert. Has a bit of support here in the form of McKibben. Wide it goes again for Rose. Trying to weave his way around his opponents and conceding the free kick there is Rose. Who's been writing all the headlines of late for the Mariners, Jai Rose, in combination with Ahmed El Helou. Sent long this time by Nizic. Mariners allowed it to bounce. Motokoye eventually gets his head to it, and now Miller will win it back for the coast. Forward towards Rose. His opponents all over him there. Yanni Nicolau, the two number 11s tussling. Nicolau all over him like a cheap suit, really. Paragali with a raking crossfield ball to this near touch line. Jablonski nods it forward first time to Mo. Dug out by Schumacher. Again, it's Mo. Something cooking here, perhaps. Schumacher. His cross is blocked off. Final touch off Sutherland. They're not too happy about the referee's decision to award the corner. Mind you, they don't have to be. The end result remains the same. Again, it's Jablonski and Rose to assess the delivery. Everyone's sort of lurking around that back post sort of area for the Mariners here. Jai Rose goes towards the edge of the area for Schumacher to swing it in from an alternate angle. Nodded forward towards Motokoye. It was just over the head of Shumba Motokoye. And Sutherland wants to transition rapidly here. It's Fernandez. who swings it out to the opposite flank. McDonald. The strike will come. And it's a very good save once again from Joel Wade. At full stretch to turn it over the crossbar. Sutherland looking to turn defence into attack in the blink of an eye, and they just about did that. Struck with a real amount of venom from Lachlan McDonald. And they'll have a corner for their troubles as well. Outswinging delivery. It's very deep. It's all the way outside the 18-yard box in the end. And from their own corner, they go all the way back to their goalkeeper in Nizic, who will look to launch it straight forwards immediately. And the Mariners once again emerge with it. Mantell. Will be Sutherland to go to their bench once again. Fernandez will take his leave. Mason Fernandez, of course. Matthew Jackson on in his place, the number 58. Max Miller will get us back underway on that far touchline. Fields sends it as far as halfway. Motokoyi stepping in. And now El Helu, good first touch to take him away from his defender initially. And again, it's a last-ditch bit of defending there to take it off the toe of Ahmed El Helu. Right as he looked to strike and pounce on the chance. But another Mariners corner. Sutherland calling everyone to drop in. They've seen a couple of variations on Mariners corners towards the edge of the area, in particular for the likes of McKibben and Schumacher. This time Schumacher will make his way into the area, and this one will be swung in towards the back stick. Nizic again gets a good fist to it, and then the strike will come from Mantell. It was a very difficult one to strike cleanly when it drops out of the air like that. Perhaps he saw his own name up in headlights there. May have been wiser counselled to maybe take a touch. Certainly audacious. But if you don't buy a ticket, as they say. Daniel Nizic now just cleaning off his boots on the goalpost here at Pluham Park and nearly taking it out of the ground with him as well. Gets us back underway. Rising there was Jablonski. Now Lachlan McDonald forced to play ball boy here as well. Never a ball boy around when you need one, is there? McDonald hoisting it back into play, and well, you can perhaps hear some of the ironic cheers throughout Plume Park there. Marzis it was who was looking to be the bounce pass, just straight into touch. Motokoyi has body position ahead of Gasking. He's able to free his feet enough as well to affect the clearance as far as El Helu, but into touch on this near touch line. And the Sharks, well, perhaps settling back into their modus operandi here. Katsuta, well, Nikolau's advanced. And now looks to invert. Still going here, Nicolau. Now Meyer. Pauses. Now Mazis. Will it be Leo Mazis? Strike is blocked off immediately. El Helu dropping in. It's all a bit frenetic on the edge of the Mariners penalty area. They eventually do hook it clear as far as Mo. He stayed short for the pass for Jablonski, and now Schumacher. Dry Rose, excellent first touch, and not a bad second one here if Mo can keep this one in place. Sliding and stretching every sinew to try and retrieve the pass. Just running away from him. Of course, as the temperature drops here, the surface does tend to get a little bit slippery, as it does at any venue. And in all fairness, full credit to the ground staff as well after the wild weather lashing the Central Coast earlier in the week. Here's El Helu advancing over halfway and immediately blocked off by Fields. Now Meyer. Now Mazis frees his feet and strikes. Not cleanly though, Leo Mazis. He perhaps expects maybe a little bit better of himself. The Canberra product, of course, good pedigree behind him as well. Spent some time at Celtic, some time in Italy and Spain as well before returning to Australia. Daniel Nizic again, barking encouragement to his troops. As we tick into the final 20 minutes here at Pluim Park between the Mariners and Sutherland here in round 22. Still deadlocked. The Mariners look to be readying another change as well, or two perhaps in the background as they again send it forwards. It's Schumacher now. Motakoi under a little bit of pressure from Ahmed. Does well to find Paragali. And looks to send it forward towards Mantell, who's going to keep his defender honest there. Just a goal kick to show for it, though. That might be the opportunity for the Mariners to make that change, or in fact those changes, I should say. A double change coming up here for Lucas Valela's side. As we wait to see if the board will go up from the fourth official. Well, we might be waiting in vain. I'll try and bring you confirmation on these changes coming up here as soon as possible. Ahmed El Helu will take his leave. I fancy Logan Sambrook on in his place. Flynn Richards, the other introduction. It is indeed Sambrook and Richards into the fray for the final 18 or so minutes here at Pluim Park. Richards, who's starting to break his way into the first team here on the coast. Absolute handful for defenders, and in more ways than one, really, as he proved winning the penalty against Sydney United a couple of weeks ago in the dying embers of that one. Here's Motakoi stealing in there ahead of his opposite number 22 in Katsuta. Forced to concede the throw, though, on this near touchline. McDonald across. Well, no long throw this time from McDonald's. We thought about the cross, instead just lays us off. He'll get the return pass as well. And his cross is immediately blocked off. All the way back to Sullivan. Here's Richards. Couldn't quite keep it in the field of play, though. Bounced at a very awkward height for the Mariners, number 26. Now weaving through some traffic there, Sutherland. Falling to Katsuta. Now, McDonald swings in the cross towards the penalty spots. And a very good save once again from Joel Wade. Matthew Jackson. It could just about be his first touch of the football as well since being introduced. prodding it towards goal. Joel Wade called upon once more. Certainly earning his keep when called upon is Joel Wade. And now the Mariners want to return serve immediately. Sambrook is blocked off by Fields. McKibben stepping in. Jai Rose has his legs taken away from him. Michael Weiner, none too impressed, completely unmoved. And on we go. Mazis slaloming through a couple of challenges. Ahmed. Swung wide towards McDonald again. Towards Jackson. Mantell will get there first and retrieve it. Sending it forward. Rose tried to reach it, but just brushing over the flowing blonde locks there of Jai Rose. Into the final 15 minutes here at Plume. Jackson running out of real estate on the far touchline. Wade again sending it forward. Cleverly nodded down by Rose, but it was just a little ways away from Sambrook. Paragully rising and winning the free kick. Won the ball cleanly enough as well. Matthew Jackson just taking away the legs of Michael Paragully. Well, is there another twist in the tail here at Plume Park? Opportunities for either side to write their own story here, write their own destiny. And it's Sutherland on the charge forward as McDonald again swings in the cross. And it's all a bit chaotic. A bit of miscommunication, I should say, perhaps in the Mariners' defensive ranks. They get away with it. Motakoi, playing with fire there, turning away from the attention of Mazis. Composure, though. Composure beyond his young years, of course, Shumba Motakoi. Turns just 17 this season. He'll still be eligible for the under-18 setup next season, in fact. As would many of the Mariners' backline, the likes of Harrison Jablonski and Max Miller as well. All being thrust into the first team action and all acquitting themselves quite well. It's Mantell. Jablonski wants it in the channel and will receive it. He's got Richards ahead of him. Just spins and goes back with McKibben, who also spins to try and take him away from the attention of Ahmed. Paragully now. Good ball from Michael Paragully to link up with Miller. Now on the edge of the area is Rose. Laid off for McKibben! That's about as close as they've come in the second half. The Mariners working their combinations nicely on that occasion. Nice little pieces of interplay between the likes of McKibben and Jablonski and Paragully, of course, unlocking the channel. Jai Rose with the layoff for Ty McKibben, but just couldn't quite keep the shot down. Daniel Nezic again sends it long into the night sky here in Lisarow. Motakoi will send it back. As far as halfway anyway. It's Ahmed and McDonald's. Gasking. has his pocket pinched to great effect, and Jablonski striding forward here, trying to go through the gears before Ahmed comes across and effects a very tidy sliding challenge. Ball and all stuff that from Mohamed Ahmed. Jablonski's going to have to try and get back and recover quickly here. But the Sharks just look to recycle it once more. Fields across the back it goes again. Nicolau trying to fashion the crossing opportunity. Eventually swung into the edge of the area. Sutherland won a handball, and again it's a little bit chaotic on the edge of the area. Pinballing around everywhere. Mariners survive. Now Rose. Well inside the final 10 minutes here at Plume Park, plus any potential time to be added on. I wouldn't think there would be all too much. Game has flowed steadily enough with minimal, if any, stoppages. As Sutherland hoists this one back into play and not as into touch immediately by the Mariners. And once again, Sutherland playing across the back. McDonald it is on this near touch line. Gusking wants it. Gusking will receive. Once again, they go all the way back through Sullivan. Fields. Sullivan again. Being chased down by Sambrook. Gets the pass away to Meyer. Trying to slip it into the area there for Mazis, but just a little bit too much pepper on the pass. Motakoi clipped out towards Richards now. McDonald was absolutely touch tight. Takes it off the toe of Richards and then wants to trust his goalkeeper's feet there in Nizic. Motakoi will nod it forward once again. Sullivan under a little bit of pressure. Nizic's clearance is back spinning and hung in the air for an age before Jablonski rose to meet it. Gusking will emerge with it, only momentarily though. It's a relatively easy cut out that for Miller. Now, Rose couldn't quite bring it under his spell. Sutherland wants to go up the other end and try and counter punch immediately. And again, all the avenues, all the channels, all the passing lanes just blocked off there. It's just a wall of yellow on the edge of the 18-yard box. Sambrook. Bit of a shove there from Katsuta. Contact from Katsuta. Judged to be legal. And on we go. Mazis trying to weave around Motakoi, and Motakoi did ever so well to win body position there as well. They might have played their way into trouble on the edge of the area. Well, the referee's whistle blown in favour of the Mariners to really release that pressure valve. Sutherland feeling they had legitimate claims for a penalty there perhaps. Looked like the contact was certainly outside the area in any case. Michael Weiner sorting out all matters required. Joel Wade to get us back underway. Chaos in the air there as it ricochets off the back of the head of Jai Rose, and then Jesse Mantell is rather agriculturally hauled to the deck. Pretty easy free kick for the referee to issue there. Well, of course, a point today for the Mariners would see them still remain a point ahead of Mount Druitt, but also level on points with the Wanderers Academy. The Wanderers Academy would retain the spot above the Mariners by virtue of their superior goal difference. But still about 5 or so minutes remaining here at Pluham Park to see if we can find a winner. A late twist in the tail. This one's clipped in and brushing off the head of Sambrook before it is driven clear as far as halfway. The Mariners awarded the throw-in. A draw, of course, would also see Sutherland remain 6 points ahead of their opposition today. Keeping them far enough away from the relegation dogfight for the time being. Here's Richards. Cute little back heel there as well through the legs of McDonald initially, and McDonald recovers well enough. Gasking. Motakoyi alert to the danger. Stealing in there ahead of Marcus Fernandez, who's been introduced for the Sharks. Throw-in was just left behind Wire, and McKibben emerging with it now for the Mariners. Be some tired legs out there for sure and for certain. Paragully skips away from the challenge of Gasking. Handy looking ball as well there for Jai Rose. His first touch just bobbled up unkindly for him, allowing Fields to emerge with it, and that's a tired looking touch there from Lachlan Fields as he strode forward and then just strode straight into touch. Jablonski. Just space to size up the pass initially, which is cut out. The Mariners want a handball against McDonald. Nothing doing, says the referee. And Sutherland again looking to get forward rapidly this time. Katsuta will strike! Joel Wade happy to watch that flash over the crossbar. No touch from the Mariners gloveman on that occasion. So just a goal kick. It certainly looked like it was dipping the strike from Katstar, but dipping just a little bit late. Really sort of venomous strike, that one. No goals for the season. Last goal, in fact, all the way back in June of 2024. Here's Sullivan. Going forward this time, McDonald's. Goes down under the contact of Flynn Richards, and oof, that's a nasty looking sort of get square there from McDonald. No further sanction, it looks like, from referee Michael Weiner. Just frustration, perhaps, from the Sharks' number 2. Feeling that he maybe deserved a free kick from the contact from Flynn Richards, which, in all fairness, did look fairly minimal. As we tick towards the final 30 seconds of the regulation 90 here at Pluham. Awaiting the board to go up from the fourth official to see how much time may be added on. Richards trying to take it away from Ahmed. We're going to have 3 minutes of time added on here at Pluham as McDonald strides forward on the near touchline. Skipping away from Richards and Jablonski, and then Flynn Richards just clipping the heels of Lachlan McDonald. Daniel Nizic is just urging his players to take their time here. And McDonald is certainly in no real sort of hurry to get back to his feet. I fancy this time, this delay, of course, will all be taken into account and added on in addition to the initial 3. Sutherland may perhaps just want to make this the final chance of the half. McDonald back to his feet now. He will have to leave the field of play after receiving treatment. And Tariq Meyer with the chance to hoist something into the area here for the Sharks. Perhaps smelling some blood in the water. It's deep from Meyer. It's bouncing around everywhere. It's the overhead kick as well at the end of it all, which flashes wide. That would have been absolutely spectacular from Fernandez. Marcus Fernandez, of course, not long into the action. Just didn't really get the clean sort of contact that he needed. Behind it goes as Wade sends that one forward. And it's going to come straight back at them. Paragully gets there first. Max Miller can't prevent the throw in. Through 2 minutes of time added on here at Pluham. The Sharks swimming forward in search of something. Well, that's the commentator's curse as they go all the way back to halfway, as they have so often. McDonald tussling here with Richards. Eventually gets around Flynn Richards, and he might just get the return pass here as well. McDonald fizzed into the area, evading everyone. It just needed the slightest touch. They'll get a chance to reload here, though, on the edge of the area. The Sharks pulled back and blocked off once more. For now, anyway. Nicolau spreads it wide towards Jackson, who is again blocked off. Gyros herring after it. Still full of boundless energy somehow is Rose. Chasing in vain though. The Sharks perhaps with one last opportunity denied by the assistance flag on this near touchline. Well and surely through the 3 minutes now, approaching the 4th minute of added time here at Pluham as the rain begins to tumble down. Still deadlocked between the Mariners and Sutherland. Wade has come a long way to retrieve this one. It does so. McDonald will knot it down for Ahmed. Jackson now on the far touchline, bursting forward and running out of room. And that will indeed be that here at Pluham Park. A match where chances were certainly at a premium for both sides. one which threatens to explode into life in parts, but didn't have the required spark to really get going. The Mariners and Sutherland forced to share the spoils here in round 22. But it could turn out to be a crucial point for both sides when it all comes out in the wash at the end of the season. The Mariners back at home next week, of course, on Sunday afternoon at 3 p.m. as they play host to Sydney Olympic. Sutherland themselves back at home on Saturday as they play host to the high-flying Spirit FC at 4 p.m. But until then, it's been an absolute pleasure having your company, as always. From myself, Pete Pryor, I'll see you all next time. It's bye for now.